Special thanks to Patreon supporter ZPro Warfare for making this tutorial possible. Hello ladies and gentlemen, ZPro here bringing you another Minecraft Modern Warfare vehicle tutorial. In this tutorial we go ahead and building the M1296 Dragoon. The US Army was looking to improve the firepower of the baseline M1126 Striker infantry carrier vehicle. Its 12.7mm heavy machine gun is not particularly effective against modern armored vehicles. In 2015, the US Army approved a lethality upgrade by equipping a total of 81 Strikers with 30mm unmanned turrets. This significantly increased firepower of the Striker while preserving its mobility. The first upgrade vehicle, designated XM1296, was delivered for testing and evaluation in 2016. Its official designation is Infantry Carrier Vehicle Dragoon, or ICVD. First operational vehicle was delivered to the U.S. Army in 2017. Existing M1126 Striker infantry carrier vehicles can be upgraded to the M1296 Dragoon standard. It is manufactured by General Dynamics Land Systems. So yeah, the Dragoon here, a pretty beefed up version of the Striker here with a unmanned turret up on top. It does have the option from pictures I've seen to actually do house crew in terms of hatches on the top for mounting machine guns or for use by the tank commander or whatever. But there are hatches on top, but basically the whole mechanism and gun system itself is all kind of self basically operating, so which makes it pretty good and a pretty lethal vehicle to have out in kind of modern conflict scenarios. But yeah, basically it's a Striker here just with a 30mm turret mounted up on top of it. It's a pretty mean looking vehicle, and probably I would say from seeing this and their version of Striker is probably one of my favorite versions of the Striker, just because it definitely looks like a mean vehicle that's really gonna be able to stand its ground against some relatively decent armored opponents. But anyways, before we go and dive in and taking a look at this vehicle, I want to go and give special thanks to Patreon supporter ZPro Warfare for making this tutorial possible. If you guys are interested in supporting the channel, where you guys already do, feel free to check out my Patreon page. Link is always in my video descriptions, where you can go and pledge a small amount to the channel. And in doing so, earn a vehicle request to your choosing, depending on which tier you sub to. Really helps support the work I do on my channel, is obviously greatly appreciated. So again, feel free to check that out. Links are always in my video descriptions. With that though, let's go ahead and move into taking a look at this build. So to go ahead and get started here, for it we have basically the base here, which is pretty much the Striker design. Pretty straightforward. If you've seen some of my recent Strikers I've been coming out with, this is basically that. Same chassis, pretty much everything, it really fits all the same. Where we get into our difference here is the turret mounted up on top here. And the turret here obviously looks pretty mean. We have the gun system itself. It's got a machine gun mounted on top of it as well, so kind of a coaxial mounted on top of the 30mm cannon. Has some hatches on the top here for crew access and all that kind of stuff. Smoke grenade dischargers on the sides there, and just overall pretty nice looking build overall. I think gonna make an awesome addition to any of your Striker convoys and just any of your modern conflict type scenarios as a another US kind of armored personnel carrier. Anyways, that's pretty much it for this overview. Let's go ahead and move into the tutorial by beginning with our first layer. Alright guys, so going ahead and moving into our first layer here, we have layer 1. For layer 1 to go ahead and get started with here, we're going to start off by going ahead and placing down 2 polished black stone stairs like this, upside down, back to back, and another set of 2 directly after that. We then want to place down a stone brick top slab, coming off this stair here, iron trapdoor, and another stone brick top slab. We're going to do the same thing right here, stone brick top slab, iron trapdoor, stone brick top slab, like that. Now once we have that done, we're going to then place down a polished black stone upside down stair coming off of it. Same thing over here on this side as well. Just go ahead and kind of repeat what we did on the other side over here to this side. Once we get to this point here, we're going to skip 2 spaces, so 1, 2, and we're going to then place down another set of polished black stone upside down stairs and basically do the same thing we did there in the front. So just basically like this. Actually, sorry, my bad. It's going to be positioned like this. Like so. And same thing for the wheels over here to this side. Just like that. And really, that's all we have to do there for layer 1. Pretty simple, straightforward layer. And looking at from above here, this is what we should have for our baseline. Anyways, that right there is going to do it for that. Let's go ahead and move into our next layer, layer number 2. Alright guys, going ahead and moving into our next layer, we have layer number 2. For layer 2, to go ahead and get started with here, we're going to place down a polished black stone stair, or 2 polished black stone stairs back to back on top of these 2 stairs from the previous layer, just to go ahead and complete all 8 of our wheels here. So we're just going to go ahead and place these on every single wheel to go ahead and complete our 8 wheels. Once we have that done, on top of each one of these iron trapdoors, we're going to place down an anvil, and then a stone brick wall here to the sides, like so. At this point here, we're going to go to the middle space right here. We're going to place down 2 rows of 3 of green terracotta to fill that space in. A row of 3 green terracotta here between those stairs, and also a row of 3 between those stairs as well. Then going toward the front, we're going to place down a row of 3, and then a second row of 3 to both sides of that second row of 3. We're going to place down a zombie head on both sides, and then a row of 3 of dark oak with top slabs coming off the side of those blocks. We're going to then place down an item frame, tripwire hook in the item frame rotated so it's facing downwards, like that on both sides. With that complete, we then want to go ahead and go to the back here. We're going to place down a row of 3 green terracotta across, followed by a second row of 3. And we then want to place down a dark oak wood up down stair on both ends of that row of 3. From there, coming off these stairs, we're going to place down a corner stair, upside down of dark oak wood. And we're going to then place down an end rod here in the center, between those 2 corner stairs, and then a zombie head coming off the sides of the end rod. And we then want to go and just place down an item frame on these corner stairs like this, and rotate the tripwire hooks around so that they're hanging downwards, just like that. And after that is all done there, we're also going to be going ahead and placing down a top slab coming off the side of this green terracotta block here on both sides, just like that. And once we have that all done, that's pretty much it for the actual base structure here for this build for layer 2. Here's what it should look like from above. At this point here, we're going to go ahead and move into the banners, which I'm going to show you guys how to make these banners here for the wheels, which are kind of a nice way to spruce up the wheels a little bit, add a little bit of extra detail to them, I think. So with that, I'm going to go ahead and grab the banner materials we'll need, and I'll see you guys here in a sec. Alright guys, so going ahead and moving into making these banners, really simple. We're going to need a loom, 2 black banners, 2 green dye, 4 black dye. We're going to start off by going ahead and going into our loom. We're going to place down our black banners and our green dye. We're going to go and select the line vertically on the left side of green. We're going to go ahead and grab that banner, and then we're going to go and do the opposite, so the line over here on the right side with our second black banner, like that, the green line. So we have these 2 banners here with these 2 green stripes. Each one of these banners is going to be placed back into our loom, and we're just going to go ahead and select the bottom horizontal black line and the top horizontal black line, like that, so we create a design that looks like this. Same thing here for this banner. And just like that, we'll have both these banners complete. So super simple. You're just going to go ahead and take each one of these banners, place them on the side here of these polished black stone stairs. So both sides just like this. And you have all your wheels complete and everything complete for layer number 2. Anyways, that's it for layer 2. Let's move on to layer number 3. Alright guys, moving into our next layer, we have layer number 3. For layer 3 to go ahead and get started with here, we're going to start off by going ahead and taking our green terracotta, and we're going to place down a row 3 across the row 3 of dark oak with top slabs, and we want to go ahead and place down a second row 3 coming off that toward the front here. We're going to go ahead and place down a green stained glass pane to the side of the first row and a mossy cobblestone wall back from it. Same thing over here on this side as well. We then want to place down a row of 2 of dark oak wood signs across, and then right here we're going to place down an item frame, a white bed in the item frame rotated sideways. And if you're on Java, you can also do the feature where we place a dark oak wood sign over the side of the block as well to create a design that looks like that. Again, that's a feature that's only available on Java. On Bedrock, you're not able to place a sign and the item frame in the same block space, so if that's the case, just go ahead and disregard the sign and just place down the item frame. Anyways, going ahead and continuing on, we're going to then place down a row of 3 of green terracotta, followed by a dark oak wood upside down stair, which will be, we're going to go and then place down a mossy cobblestone wall, going back so you have a row of 2 there, then another row of 3 green terracotta blocks, and then the dark oak wood upside down stairs, like that. We then want to go ahead and go to the stone brick walls, and in all these stone brick walls from the previous layer, we're just going to place down one more up from those walls, like so. And we then want to go and fill the space in between the walls with green terracotta. And then this row here, we're going to place down a row of 3 green terracotta, row of 3, row of 5, a row of 3, a row of 3, and we're going to then do a second row of 3 like that on the back there. On the sides, we're going to take our dark oak with top slabs, we're going to place down 1, 2, 3, and then an upside down stair. Same thing here, upside down stair, 1, 2, 3. Then going toward the back, upside down stair, then 1, 2, 3. And over here, upside down stair, 1, 2, 3. We're going to go then place down a green terracotta block to both sides, item frame on the side of that block. And in that item frame, we're going to place down a tripwire hook, rotate it so it's facing downwards on both sides. And on the back here, we're just going to place down a dark oak wood stair on top of that upside down stair, a dark oak wood sign on the sides of the stairs. And if you do want to have these jerry cans here mount on the back, we're also going to have a dark oak wood fence gate coming off those two stairs like so. Also coming off the fence gates, we're going to go and place down an item frame. And we're going to go then place down a apple, which will be in the item frame, like so. And that'll be like that on the back there. We also want to place down a skeleton skull coming off this fence gate here to the left side, and the left side only. And then for the center spaces here, we're going to place down a green stained glass pane, and then to both sides of it, we want to go and place down a granite wall, like so here, for the back door there. And with that, that is going to pretty much wrap up everything we have here for layer 3 for the build. Here's what it looks like from the side, and here's what it looks like from up above. Anyways, with that, let's go ahead and move into our next layer, layer number 4. Alright guys, moving into our next layer, we have layer number 4. For layer 4 to go ahead and get started with here, we're going to go ahead and place down an anvil on top of this block here, and then a zombie head coming off the anvil going forward, followed by a dark oak wood slab to both sides of that anvil. We then want to place down a dark oak wood sign on top of this wall, and open it up toward those slabs, place down item frames on the side of the fence gates there, and we're going to then place down a snowball in those item frames like that for the front headlights. After that, we also want to go and grab a dark oak wood button, and on these two green terracotta blocks, we're going to place down 2 dark oak wood buttons like so. At this point here, we're going to take dark oak wood stairs, we're going to place down a row of 3 across, and then a dark oak wood corner stair on both ends of that row of 3. We're going to go then place down a mossy cobblestone wall in the corners here, and then a row of 3 green terracotta across in between those walls. And after that, we're going to place down a second row of row of 5, followed by a second row of 5. And we then want to go ahead and place down 2 rows of 3, so 1 and 2 of green terracotta, and then 2 shulker boxes on the ends, 2 dark oak wood buttons on the sides here of those shulker boxes. And also on the side of this wall here, we're going to be going ahead and grabbing ourselves some item frames and some tripwire hooks. And for this section here, we will be placing down an item frame on the side of this wall and a tripwire hook in the item frame, like so. After that, taking our green terracotta, we're going to place down another row of 5 across, a second row of 5, followed by a third, a fourth, a fifth, and a 6th row of 5 green terracotta going all the way across. Over here on the left side, we can go ahead and add some tools onto this side of the vehicle too if we want. So for this, we'll just kind of place down 2 item frames, place an iron shovel, and an iron axe like that for some tools. You can do the same thing on the other side, but it's not really completely necessary, but just kind of trying to throw some extra gear onto the vehicle, but it's not entirely needed. Once we have that done, we want to go then place down a mossy cobblestone wall on top of those dark oak wood stairs, and we're going to then place down a dark oak wood sign on the sides there of those walls. We then want to go ahead and also grab a green shulker box, and on top of this dark oak wood fence gate, we're going to place down a shulker box like this for the jerry cans here. And we then want to go and take our dark oak wood signs and wrap them around the sides here of the shulker boxes. So just like that. And once we have that all done there, we then want to go and grab our granite walls and green stained glass in the middle here, and then a granite wall on both sides of it, just like that. And with that all done, also on the back here for the jerry cans, just so we don't have to worry about it later, we'll just place down 2 zombie heads there on top of those as well to finish those off. And with that all complete, that is going to wrap up what we have here for layer number 4 for the build. And with that, we'll go ahead and move into layer number 5. Alright guys, go ahead and move into layer 5. For layer 5, to go ahead and get started with here, we'll be going ahead and placing down a placeholder block on top of these 2 slabs. We're going to place down a lever on the side of those blocks. Now we're going to go then use a debug stick and select the select the selected face. We're going to go and select this so that's to the floor. Same thing over here. And then we want to go and select the facing so that the lever is going to be out to the sides here, like that from the middle in comparison. We can then delete those placeholder blocks, and then coming off the levers here, we're going to place down a zombie head like that for our side mirrors. So something just like that, and that'll be basically it for those. After that, we want to go and take our dark oak wood fence post. We're going to place down a fence post here on top of this fence gate. or on top of this corner stair, and just so we don't have to worry about it, we're going to place down an additional fence post up and a zombie head on top there. We then want to go ahead and go back from this by placing down a dark oak wood slab in this section here. And we're going to then follow this up and place down a spruce wood slab directly back from it. We want to take zombie heads. We're going to place down a zombie head here at a slight angle on top of that mossy cobblestone wall and on top of this green terracotta block. And then just a normal zombie head here on top of these two blocks like so. We also want to go ahead and grab ourselves an item frame, a black bed, and a dark oak wood sign. We're going to place down an item frame on the side of this slab here, black bed in the item frame, rotate on its side, and a dark oak wood sign over it if you're on Java. Now once we have that complete, going back from this, we want to go and take our anvils. We're going to place down a row of 2 of anvils like so. And we then want to go ahead and grab our dark oak wood stairs. We're going to place down a dark oak wood stair facing this direction here on top of that shulker box. 1, 2, 3 stairs over, and our corner stair over to the side there. Actually, sorry, it's going to be a normal stair to the side here, followed by a dark oak wood sign on the side of the stair. Now after we get to this point, we're going to place down a dark oak wood stair in this location here. We then want to grab ourselves a lectern. We're going to place down a lectern right here, and then a dark oak wood stair coming off the lectern like so, with a dark oak wood sign on the front there of the stair. With that complete, we then want to go ahead and place down a polished blackstone block here, followed by a polished blackstone stair, and 2 polished blackstone walls on the side of the full block and the stair. And we're going to follow this up and place down a zombie head here on top of this wall here, and then there's a zombie head that comes off of it like that to the side there. And that right there will basically complete this kind of front section here. After we have that done, going ahead and going back from this, we're going to take our green terracotta. We're going to place down a row of 3, followed by a 2nd, 3rd, 4th, 5th, 6th, and a 7th row of 3 going back. And we're going to go and finish this off of an 8th row all the way to the rear there, like so. And on this last row here, we're going to place down a dark oak wood button there and 2 sides. Once we have that done, to these sides here, we're going to go and grab some mossy cobblestone walls, and we're going to place down a row of mossy cobblestone walls all the way along the side. And same thing over here. So just like that. And then once we get to this point here, we then want to take our green stained glass panes and start on our first wall. We're going to go back 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So 1 less from the end. And over here, same thing, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and 7. And then after that, we're just going to go ahead and grab ourselves a item frame and a tripwire hook. We're going to place down an item frame here, tripwire hook in the item frame, rotate facing downwards. Same thing over here as well, just like that. And after that's done, that's pretty much going to do it for this layer, trying to make sure they're not missing anything and everything. It does appear to be good to go. So we're going to go and call layer 5 here done. And with that, we're going to be moving into our final layers here, which will basically cover the turret and the radio antennas and all that stuff. So basically putting the roof on the vehicle and finish it all off. So with that, let's go ahead and move into our last final layers. Alright guys, so going ahead and moving into our final layers here, we have layers 6 through 12. These layers here are just going to cover the rest of the build, and we'll finish it off here in this go. So let's go ahead and get started. First thing we want to do is we're going to go ahead and place down a spruce wood slab on those 2 green terracotta blocks like so. Now, once we get to this point on this slab here, so this is on the right side of the build, we're going to place down a item frame, black bed rotate on its side, and then a spruce wood sign over it like so for a little viewport there. And then we're going to place down a zombie head here at a slight angle to both sides of it like so. After we have that done, over here to this side, we want to go ahead and do a very similar technique to what we did for the side mirrors, which is going to be going ahead and placing down a lever and using a debug stick to move it. So we're going to go ahead and place down our block right here, lever. We're going to go and select the face, and we're going to have it to the floor. And we then want to go ahead and select the facing and have it basically connecting to this slab like so. And once you have that all figured out, that's pretty much all you need to do for that, and we have that lever set up. Now once we get to this point, we're going to go and then place down a dark oak wood slab on top of those 2 stone brick walls, or I should say mossy cobblestone walls. We then want to go and place down a stair, a dark oak wood stair, which is going to be right here in this upside down spot, and then a upside down dark oak wood corner stair to both sides of it. After that, we want to go and then place down a row of 2 of stairs along the sides here, 1, 2, and then the space in the middle here we're going to fill in with 2 rows of 3 of green terracotta. After we get to that point, we want to go and then place down a row of 3 of green terracotta, and we're going to go and then place down a lever to both sides. We're going to select the face, have it face the floor, and that'll be the same thing on both sides there. We have the levers that form like that. We then want to place down a row of 3 of dark oak wood upside down stairs, followed by a row of 3 of dark oak wood pressure plates on top of those walls. And then in the middle here, we're going to go ahead and just place down a spruce wood trapdoor to both sides here, like that. And in the middle here, we're actually going to replace this block here with a green shulker box, like so. And on the back here, we're going to go ahead and also take our oak wood trapdoors. We're going to place down 1 here, followed by 2 and 3 over. And we just want to go ahead and place down trapdoors wrapped all the way around this row. So like this. And we're going to then close the ones around the perimeter, like that, to create a little basket here on the back for gear for the vehicle. Then in the corners here, we're going to place down a dark oak wood fence post to both sides. And then going up from the fence post, we're going to place down 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6 iron bars up like that for the radio antennas. Same thing over here as well. So 6 up. Now once we get to this point here, continuing work on our turrets, we're going to start off by going ahead and place down a polished blackstone full block here on top of the stair. To the left side here, we're going to place down a dark oak wood slab, and over to the right side here, we're going to place down an anvil. Now once we get to this point here, we also want to go ahead and grab some dark oak wood trapdoors, and on top of those 2 anvils there, we're going to place down 2 dark oak wood trapdoors, just so I don't forget to cover that. Anyways, continuing on, we're going to go ahead and place down a polished blackstone wall, coming off this polished blackstone block, and we're going to then follow that up by placing down 1, 2, and 3 end rods going forward, followed by a wither skeleton skull on the very tip there to go ahead and make our barrel for our main gun. Now over here to the left side of this wall, we're going ahead and placing down a dark oak wood sign, just like this. And then over here to the other side, we want to go ahead and grab ourselves some iron frames and some black beds. We're going to place down an iron frame here on the anvil, rotate on side like so, and a dark oak wood sign coming off the side there, like so. And after that's all done, we then want to go to the corners here. We're just going to place down a zombie head here at about a 45-degree angle in both corners, like that, to the side there. We're going to go and then take green terracotta, place down a row of 3 across of green terracotta, and then a mossy cobblestone wall on both ends. We're going to go and repeat the same row 2 more times. So just like this. And then on the back here, we're going to go ahead and place down a dark oak wood stair to both sides. And in the middle, we're going to go ahead and place down a spruce wood stair. We also want to go ahead and place down a zombie head coming off the sides here of these dark oak wood stairs. And we're going to go ahead and also grab ourselves some polished blackstone slabs, wither skeleton skulls, and dark oak wood signs. And going to the side here for the smoke grenade dispensers, we're going to place down a slab here, wither skeleton skull, sign, and a wither skeleton skull coming off that wall. Same thing over here. Just like that. And after that, we're going to then place down a redstone repeater on top of this green terracotta block here. We're going to then place down a grindstone, which will be coming off of it, so like this, facing forward, and then a polished blackstone slab coming off the grindstone. On the left side here, we're going to place down a zombie head. Over to the right side, we're going to place down an item frame, black bed rotated sideways like that, and a dark oak wood sign on the side there of it. We also want to place down a dark oak wood sign, which is going to be on the sides here of the grindstone, just like that on both sides. And then coming off of it, we're just going to go ahead and grab ourselves a chain, and we're going to place down a chain coming off like that for the top-mounted machine gun. Now for this point here, we then want to go ahead and just very simply place down a spruce wood trapdoor to both sides of the repeater, then a row of 3 of dark oak wood trapdoors, and then 1 trapdoor in the middle, and then a dark oak wood button on those 2 green terracotta blocks, and to finish it all off, a dark oak wood fence post on this dark oak wood stair there in the bottom or the back right corner there of the turret. And with that all complete there, that is going to basically wrap up my design here for the M1296 Dragoon. Hopefully you guys do enjoy this tutorial and are able to put it to good use. If you guys do use this build, I do ask that you guys give me proper credit for it. This can be a link from some of the build link to my channel or this video if this does appear on social media sites. As long as you guys give me proper credit for the build, you're free user for our project you guys are working on. Overall, enjoy the build, have fun with it, and all that fun stuff. However, with that, thank you guys again so much for watching. A big special thanks to, again, Patreon supporter ZPro Warfare for making this tutorial possible. And as always, feel free to check my Patreon pages. Link is always in the video descriptions. With that, though, thanks again for watching. As always, don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. This has been Garrett204, and I'll see you guys next time.